One of our most popular segments by far was Adam Lambert having a conversation with Kelly Osbourne, which was so wonderful and rich. We broke it into three parts. We're going to show you that third part now. Here's Kelly and Adam. Enjoy.
It sounds cliche, but it really can get better. It can, but you got to do a little work. You got to look at yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself, and take the necessary steps. I mean, therapy is like what you mentioned. Therapy is amazing. I started taking therapy. I started seeing a therapist as well, and it's been really helpful.
It was such a big step for me to do that, because being English, and you know what they're like in England, when you talk about therapy or therapist, it's like, oh, you're crazy. It's the first thing anyone says to you. Why? What? You crazy? And you're like, no, I'm not crazy. I actually think you're crazy if you don't talk to somebody.
Yeah.
That's what makes you
or I'm trying not to become crazy.
That's why I'm going.
I'm trying to make sure I don't get that way. Yeah.
And so it's all of these words that I started to then turn it around on them and be like, yeah, I am crazy and I like being crazy. So I go and see this person, I talk to them about my crazy, and it's great. And it disarms people and they can't judge you for it. But we are becoming more aware that things like this need to not have a stigma, and everybody needs somebody to talk to. And it's, we're lucky we can afford to pay someone and sit in front of them. Not everybody is like that, and there are some incredible support groups online, and I would encourage people to look up in their area and see what is available, because some of the ways in which people have come together to support one another has been so beautiful.
Absolutely.
That's the beauty in all of this. That's the light in all of this dark time that we're going through.
Yeah, absolutely.
The creativity, and I'm sure you're working on music right now.
I am. And that was the thing. Like you, I think the first few weeks of this whole quarantine, I didn't know what to make of how I felt. I was also a bit depressed. I was kind of in shock because I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? And so I kind of shut down a little bit for a minute and just kind of like needed to sort of have time to myself to figure it out and process, and that's okay.
Are you one of those people, because I am, that when you see suffering, it affects you deeply?
Yeah.
Like when I see...
Yeah, there's a collective anxiety that everyone's sort of experiencing right now, and you feel it.
When you see
especially like I said, with the fact that we have phones and social media, and like you can see what people are feeling, And it definitely it took me a minute. I went through all these stages of emotions, dealing with and kind of coming to terms with where we're at right now. I mean, there's a bit of a grieving process for me. All of my stuff got canceled.
Same.
I was excited. I had a whole year booked out, and now we're like, okay, yeah. And I know that we're not. It's all relative. We're doing stuff on this level, but everyone understands what that feels like. I mean, anybody out there that's in school, all your school is put on hold. All your events. Maybe if you're in high school, you have the school dances and the events and stuff. Everything
graduation.
Yeah, that's hard. And you have to acknowledge that there's a grieving process. You're allowed to feel sad,
and you're allowed to be pissed off.
Yeah.
You didn't get to wear your prom dress and go and be with your prom day, and you didn't get to go up there in front of your family and on graduation day. You are allowed to be pissed off about that.
Yeah.
That is okay. And you are allowed to have some terrible, miserable days. That is okay. Yeah. People think we get told that we have to be happy and nice and pretty all the time, and that is just not real.
No.
There are some days where I'm like, I'm in a bad mood, and that's okay. Just stay away from me. And that's just how you just have to... The acceptance of your feelings is what we have to start doing.
Yeah. And also you have to figure out, it's really helpful to figure out an outlet that's not harmful to yourself or anybody else. Don't take it out on yourself. Don't take it out on somebody that you love. Figure out a way to sort of release that energy. I don't know. Some people want to go on a run or work out, or some people...
I wish I was like that.
I know. I haven't been running
addicted to running or working out. That'd be great. I've been addicted to everything else.
And it's funny, you know what? I'm naturally like a lazy person too. I'd rather just lounge around. That's more my idea of a good time. But I mean, anybody that you talk to, they look at this. I'm not running in this. But anybody that you talk to, any therapist says, look, exercise is a really good way to combat feelings of anxiety. It's chemical.
Does work.
You don't have to be Olympic sprinter. You don't have to be a weightlifter, but do something to get your heart rate up. Dance around the room. And this is an amazing time while we're in quarantine. No one's watching. You got a ton of time. Take a dance class online. Like there's all these, do something silly that you've never tried before as an outlet, as a challenge for yourself. It will get your mind off of the anxiety. It'll get your mind off of what everybody else is doing. Do it for you,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't taken a dance class yet, but I think I'm going to.
Oh my God, now I was going to be like, do you want to take a dance class with me? I mean, where is Richard Simmons when we need him?
Yeah. Oh.
I'd be sweating to the oldies with him every day if he was doing live Zoom. Like, I wish I could be doing stuff like that. Like, that's what I'm going to get into next week.
Where is Richard? Richard!
Where is Mr. Simmons? We need him right now. Now is his time for a comeback. For sure.
Come on, Rich. Come on, Dick. But yeah, it's been weird. But like you said, like music has been a great outlet. If there's anything creative that you like to do, like it really does help to find projects. That's been the key for me in this whole thing. What have you been doing to kind of keep your mind busy?
So I've been doing I get my 10,000 steps in a day. So I usually max out at about 14 to 18,000 steps because there's nothing else to do. So I just go walking. I've learned how to cook, which is new because if anyone's ever been to this household, you know that no one in my family cooks. That is why my dad used to hide his drugs in the oven. There's a whole story behind that. So that's a big deal. Reconnecting with friends. I've learned how to meditate. Just little things. Like I've been learning to be okay being alone. It's only this week that I've been quarantining with my parents. So for the last 2.5, almost 3 months, I was alone at mine. And learning to be okay with my own company and at peace with myself was so hard, but I feel so accomplished that I got there. And everyone else kept calling me, being like, how are you doing this? I'm like, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
It's funny because I'm used to spending time alone. I kind of need it. I'm like, what do they call it? Like an extroverted introvert or something? Isn't there
Yeah.
Like I like people. I love socializing. I love being on stage and performing, but I also need my time to sort of recharge. And with this quarantine, I find it very interesting because it could have very well been that I had been by myself this whole time.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough to have 2 friends that were relocating from New York right before the quarantine started. So when I was on tour in January and February down under, they were house sitting for me. And it's a really close friend of mine. He used to live here in town. He's danced for me for years. He was relocating from New York to do Hamilton, the musical. This is my buddy Terrence. This is one of my best friends.
You
met Terrence.
Yeah, I've met Terrence.
So he was like, oh, can me and my boyfriend and our dog, do you think that we could land at your place while we look for where we're going to live? And I was like, absolutely. And so he was staying here. And then when quarantine started, it was not the time for them to look for an apartment.
No.
So I was like, just stay. And that has been the blessing, is that I've had sort of a family vibe here at the house. And it's one of those things where it's relearning how to find your own space even when you're with people in the house. I still need my own time. And that's been a really interesting learning curve for me because I'm usually just alone because I'm alone, because I don't have roommates. And so it's been good. I come into my little office here, I do my work, I have my projects, I have my bedroom, my bathroom, and then when we're downstairs, we're socializing. And it's been good to have that balance. It feels like family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's so beautiful that you have that built-in community with you, and you're learning to compromise and have space, and that's so important.
And the dogs like to play together, and they're hilarious. They're so cute.
That's my pony.
Hello.
Say hi. Oh, you smell. She does. Her breath smells. Well, I'm going to let you go. I cannot thank you enough, Adam. And I have to tell you, you are so fucking handsome. It makes me sick. Every time I look into your eyes,
Shut up.
I'm just like, why am I not a man? This is not fair. This is not fair.
You look amazing as well.
Thank you.
I
And when
love
this
how
is
long-
done,
I love
dance
how long
party,
we've been-
please.
What'd you say?
I know. I said, when this is done, can we have a dance party, please?
Yes, please. I love that idea.